many of those stereotypes, and we hope that it's in fact going to lead to a paradigm change in the way that people and specifically investors look at these businesses. But Padmaja, to the point that was being made there by Shanti, now we've got a bunch of specific funds looking at funding women businesses. Under the ACT program as well, we've got a lot of women who are partnering with other startup founders to contribute and do their bit. As we move forward, what do you believe will have to be the next steps in this journey? To take this out of the metros, to take this into smaller towns across India?
Yeah, I think you really hit upon a very, very high potential investing opportunity and for entrepreneurs to build. I think what we are seeing, and this has happened, I think, a little bit because of the pandemic with the technology enablement that has happened. I think a number of young entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, and even for that matter, men entrepreneurs are building very interesting ventures out of tier 2, tier 3 cities. And as this happens and they start getting funded, and we are seeing investors also go there and fund. We've invested in number of tier 2 cities like Indore, Kanpur, Goa, all of these places. And I think even from funding perspective, funding has started to happen. It has encouraged more people to go start up. And that is creating a huge opportunity because there are new problems to be solved. Tier 2, tier 3 have their own problems that need to be solved. And these entrepreneurs are catering to that. So very interesting ventures, very innovative ventures coming up, new sectors opening up, and very, very real problems. So we're really being able to create Indian startups with global mindsets, catering to global markets. It can grow domestically, but it can also grow globally. So very, very, very interesting times ahead, for sure.
Yeah, the global aspiration is being witnessed across a bunch of Indian startups, specifically as far as the Indian SaaS startups are concerned. But Priyanka, to the point that Padmaja was making, that perhaps because of technology, the use of technology, the deployment of technology, and using technology to be able to market and distribute, the barriers of threshold across the world of entrepreneurship, but perhaps more specifically for women, have made it easier for them to be able to start up. As someone in the D2C space, do you believe that this is going to be a sweet spot specifically?
To market has really kind of become a lot easier because of all these macro changes that we've seen, and Black Swan event, the big Black Swan event that we went to through with the coronavirus. And adoptability of behavior has just accelerated, right? Things that you would never have dreamt of doing. You would never have invited me on this call on Zoom if I was not sitting in the studio next to you right now. So there's so much behavior that has changed right now, and it's become acceptable. It just made, as an entrepreneur, your life has become a lot easier. People are willing to transact more easily online. People are willing to buy a lot of different things online that earlier wouldn't have. They're willing to adopt different behaviors. So I just think, not just for female-led startups, or not just for, I think overall, we're just seeing this huge sea change that's happening right before our eyes, and habits are being adopted a lot faster. So to market your product is easier. The entire DTC boom that we are witnessing, and we are kind of having the pleasure of witnessing right now, is because all these mass adoptions of behavior has changed, right? And brands are being able to scale up a lot faster. Brands can get to market, social media, influencer marketing, all these huge trends that are happening right now has made everyone's life a lot easier. Building a brand is cheaper than it was before. It's easier. It's also a lot more crowded. And I think the best brands are going to surface. Ultimately, we genuinely believe that the customer is going to benefit, because India is and has been a brand poor country, even in the beauty space. Given the size of our population, we don't have enough brands out there. And all these kind of brands like ours that are coming up, they're there to fill in that gap because the customer is demanding it. Again, Shereen, hugely excited, super pumped up. I think it's a great time to be an entrepreneur today in India. And the Nykaa IPO has just kind of added further kind of injection of optimism and hope, and this kind of will to just go and get it and do this for ourselves. And it's a great moment to celebrate. And in fact, thank you for actually doing this panel, because it's the perfect time for it.
You know, I think Falguni said it best. She said there's absolutely no reason to shy away from putting the spotlight on yourself. And for too long, far too long, women have been apologetic about doing so. You know, and there's no reason for that to continue to happen. But Shanti, let me end by asking you, you know, when you started out, Shanti, before Let's Venture, what was the big hope that you had for yourself? And today in 2021, as you look at what's happening around you, I mean, what is the dream that you can now hope to dream of?
So that's a great question, Shereen, because in 2013, when we started Let's Venture, right, there was no online payments, there was no technology-led enablement platforms, right? And really at that point of time, my vision was very simple. How do you make the process of fundraise easy for both founders and investors, right? But really today, I think in 2021, and like what Priyanka rightly said, I think thanks to you and thanks to all the spotlight and thanks to all the conversations around women founders, I think the journey is much better. That is one. And second is, I think there are a lot of people who are willing to give back today, right? So there are a lot of founders who are coming out and saying, I want to help build the ecosystem. And that has been probably the biggest takeaway for all of us in 2021, when we saw the ecosystem just come together, irrespective of whether you're a competitor or whether you are an equal player. I think people came together to say that I want to build the Indian ecosystem.
Absolutely.
I just would like to add one thing.
You know, we're hoping that we continue to have...
I would just say,
Priyanka, go ahead.
You know, you have been a huge champion, right? And I think I messaged that to you as well. You've given outsized platforms to what would be relatively smaller startups because they were female-led. I've been the beneficiary of that kind of passion of yours. So I just want to say a huge thank you, by the way. I mean, we are in large part because of the visibility that we get. So just a big thank you for that.
Well, we're doing our bit. You know, we believe in the entrepreneurial spirit of Indian entrepreneurs, and we've been happy to be partners on that journey for the past 2 decades here on Young Turks. But thanks very much, as always, Priyanka, Shanti and Padmaja, for joining us. And we hope that the momentum that we see today continues to be built on, and we build sustainable businesses for the future that are fair and equitable as well. Appreciate you joining us here on Young Turks. We'll take a break. There's a lot more coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment with more.